It's time to accelerate. Hi, this is Andy. Welcome to another edition of Frontline Friday with my regular and very special guest, Bridget Gleason. Now, before we get to the show, Bridget and I have a favor to ask of you. We'd really appreciate it if you took time right now to leave a review for this show on iTunes. And while you're there, click the button, subscribe to Accelerate. Make sure you get Frontline Friday automatically each week. Also, we need to hear from you. More specifically, we need your sales questions. What can we answer for you? What challenges do you have that we can help you with? So go to accelerate.fm/frontline and enter your question there. Each month, we're going to select one listener's question to be the question of the month. And the winner will receive a $50 Amazon gift card. So remember, go to accelerate.fm/frontline to give us your question and maybe win $50. So Bridget, how are you today?
You know the answer.
Should I stop asking?
You know the answer.
Should I stop asking?
No. Keep asking. I'm doing excellent.
Okay.
I'm doing excellent. It's great.
Fantastic.
Beautiful, sunny, fantastic. Couldn't be better.
So people are going to listen to the show.
And it's Friday.
It's Friday. So, but people are going to listen to the show and wonder, are there ever any clouds in Bridget Gleason's life?
Oh my God. Yes, there are clouds all the time.
Okay.
There are clouds. Lots of clouds. Clouds. Yes, lots of clouds.
Have you looked at clouds from both sides?
It sounds like a song. Somebody should write it. Yeah, there are clouds. It just takes more effort when there are clouds to find the sun that's shining through. So, but there are definitely clouds.
But it's always worth the effort.
Don't let anybody, no one should ever be deceived that I'm always like sunning up. There are days that I come in. It was last week or the week before.
And people cringe when they see you walk in. It's like, oh no, Bridget's in one of her moods.
No. They usually, they can't always tell, but I walked into the sales team. It was maybe one day last week or the week before. And I said, I just want you guys to know I am in a really bad mood. Okay. And I said that the universe is not cooperating. Like I have certain things I want them to line up, and you know what? Everything is not organizing in the way that I would like it to be organized. Okay. And I feel very frustrated. So I give you my permission right now to plug your ears, whatever. If I bark, just know I'm having a bad day. I just want to put that out there.
Mm-hmm. Walk softly.
I try to let people know. Give them a heads up.
Okay. Well, have you ever been running a sales meeting, like pounded the table with your fists?
No, I'm not a fist pounder, but there are sales meetings I've run where it's clear. God, when I'm not, oh boy, when I'm mad or something displeases me.
Tell us.
No, there's no mistake. There's no mistake. Like it's not, you don't wonder, okay. And it's my face. Like you can't see it here because we're on a podcast, but my face, I couldn't win poker. I can play, but I lose because my face says it all. The tone of my voice, I am short. It's clipped. I'm also very direct.
Is this, so if we were to ask your sons about this, they would say, oh yeah, that's, we recognize that.
Yeah, I think my sons would also say, I don't get angry very often, but it's not pretty when I do.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not a rager. Like I'm not a loud, angry person. It's just when somebody doesn't get angry a lot, when they're displeased, there's like it's very contained, but I don't get angry very often.
So have you ever worked for somebody that was a rager?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't do well with it.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't do well with ragers in general. So it's probably why I don't, because it's not a style that is very motivating to me.
Yeah, so I worked for
it doesn't help me do my best work.
Yeah, absolutely. So I worked for this one company. We got acquired by a bigger company. We were based in California. They were based on the East Coast. And I don't know, but maybe 5-6 months after we got acquired, the acquiring company got a new president. And where I really liked the guy that led the acquisition of us. This guy who came in was, a rager. I mean, he's the type of guy, I'd seen him make people cry at executive staff meetings, right? When they're up giving the presentation. And and I was like, yeah, this is not my style at all. I mean, first of all, it was just petty and vindictive, and there was absolutely no reason for it. You could accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish without resorting to that type of behavior. Yeah, for me, it motivated me to. At that time, I was I was running international sales for this company, so yeah, I just scheduled to be out of the country every month when he had his staff meeting.
It's sometimes you got to figure out those strategies.
Yeah,
what's going to work?
Yeah, so
what's going to work?
So finally, after I don't know, about a year and a half or so, I think I attended like one, and he sent one of his emissaries out to California to talk to me. And it was like, so Andy, if you plan on being part of this team, you really got to start coming to the meetings. And I said, well, there you go. And I'd already received some calls from a number of companies that wanted my services, so I was soon out the door.
That made it easy. Made it easy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just like, how could people act this way? And the odd thing was, though, that he had this cadre of about 3 or 4 of the VPs who he also abused, who were, I don't know, mate. Yeah, I don't know what the syndrome is, but they loved this guy. They're exceedingly loyal, but he treated them badly too. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't get that.
Well, there must be something, there must be something there. So my experience with people who rage, they can be amazing individuals, but they haven't learned really how to master sort of that set of kind of a set of emotions, and they get triggered and they go somewhere else. So it's tough. I mean, it's not. It doesn't surprise me necessarily that this individual had people who were loyal to him, but because there can be I know some people who I've worked with who are ragers, who I love. I really care about. It's just they can't get out of their own way. They can't get out of their own way. They haven't figured out how to do that yet. So I have a lot of compassion for it, but I don't want to work for that person. And it doesn't. There was an executive coach who said to me once that, you really need to be, Bridget, in a place where you can do your best work. And for me, I don't do my best work in the presence of a rager. I just don't do my best work.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I just had that one period of time where I worked for people or a person like that. Otherwise, yeah, for the part of my career, I was actually working for other companies. Actually, no, God, oh gosh, I forgot. Yeah, there's one startup I worked for back in the Valley, and long time ago, was run by a guy who was insane. And I didn't realize that at the time because I'd met him when I was interviewing, but the VP that hired me was a good friend, and we'd worked at another company. I'd worked with him at another company. And so I really trusted him. And it really wasn't until I got in there about a month and I was like, oh yeah, this is not the right decision. Because this guy, just insane. Absolutely insane. It's a rager of the worst degree. God, I completely blocked that from my mind. He was, think about this, and everybody's probably has stories about this, but so startup, we were watching money, obviously, but his mandate was that when we traveled, we absolutely had to travel the least expensive way possible.
Oh dear.
So, and this was a while ago. This was before the internet, so we weren't making our own travel plans. We were always going through a travel agent the travel agent was related to him somehow, either through him or his wife. I can't remember what the connection was, but so I just remember once taking a flight from
oh dear
from San Francisco to Omaha that had 5 stops.
You're kidding me.
No.
No, you would think they would charge more for that because the up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well, that's the thing. We were going more north and south, working our way west or working our way east than we were going
east. And the time, obviously nobody took into any calculation of time unless your time was like, $2.99 an hour. But it just seems like what a waste.
Yeah. So I remember, I think we started in San Francisco. I think we were in like Seattle, Spokane, maybe Salt Lake City.
Crazy.
Denver, and then somewhere else between. I'm not sure there is anything but Denver and Omaha, but somehow we made some other stop, and it was just like, this was not
crazy.
Unusual. This is not unusual. And then hotels were the same thing. So, business travel. I remember once staying in New York in a hotel that I was just frightened. Really good travel. I've traveled all over the world, but the only place I was literally almost like afraid for my life. I mean, it was out by JFK, and it was just like, this is where we're going to be. The wallpaper was falling off the walls inside. And it was just like, oh, God. So, yeah, that guy was a rager. That was short-lived. I owed up to my mistake fairly quickly and got out of there as quickly as I could.
Yeah, it seems like a good option.
All right. So
is that what you wanted to talk about today? Is that the topic?
Ragers? No, it was. No,
but that's a good one. But it's an important one because there's a lot of them. There's actually in business, it's not unusual to have people that use anger as a technique, and so it's not uncommon.
No, but I mean, I think of other bosses I've had on the other end of the spectrum who have been, hugely inspirational for me. Tend to be fairly quiet, but direct, but led by example. And to me, those are the people that I really wanted to work for, that I enjoyed working for, that weren't afraid to mix it up, weren't afraid to, like I said, go out and to support you and have your back, every step of the way. And I've told the story about one of my first managers that I was having a bad stretch. Things just weren't going well for me. I'd been doing really, really well overall, but I just hit this 2 or 3 month period where just nothing was happening. I wasn't closing any of my deals, and we'd been talking, but I show up at the office one day, and he's basically waiting by the door, and he's got his car keys in his hand. I said, "Come on, let's go make some sales calls." And I remember that day like it was yesterday, right? It's just like, yeah, come on, let's go make some calls. And it was just like, we just went out and had a day together, calling on customers. And it really helped turn the tide. In some cases, he was letting me do my thing, but, he had stepped in. I learned some things from listening to him, and how he handled certain situations, because I was still, I was sort of crushing and I was still new and in a relative sense. And I would have run through walls for him.
It's interesting that you bring that up this session. So our CEO is in town from Tel Aviv, so it's not an easy thing. Mm-hmm. This is a big push up to get here, and he likes to come out and meet with the team. And we've got a new team here. We're just building it, so we're getting a lot of things put into place. And there's one of the reps, amazing rep, and it takes a while to get ramped. And he took her to lunch yesterday just to tell her, you know what? Just want you to know you're doing great things. I have all the confidence in the world in you. I'm here to help you. I'm going to work on this particular deal with you. And it meant so much to her that he, on his own initiative, took this time, saw and picked up that, maybe she felt a little discouraged, and to take that time with her. The other thing he did is he put together this game for the sales reps that are here. He used an app called Kahoot, and it's questions, and there's points depending on how fast you go and if you answer the questions right. And he did this again with the sales team yesterday, and it was so much fun, and we all laughed, and it was a really, I just so appreciated the effort, him taking big effort to be part of the team. And like you said, that goes so far. I know the team is more motivated and will run through walls for this guy, as would I, just because he continues to show up and be there and be really supportive. He's a great leader.
So we're talking about bosses, and if you have stories about great bosses you worked for, you'd like to tell us about, and hey, if it's a good enough story, we'll have you on the show as one of our guests here on Frontline Friday. But send it to acceleratefm at gmail.com. New email for you to send in questions and comments and stories for, because we'd love to hear you. Somebody's got a great story about a great boss. Because I was going to talk about one that almost unimaginable when you think about these days is worked for him for 3 years, CEO, and I was a director level inside of VP that I worked for. We never had a defined comp plan at the start of the year. And the CEO would sort of put it together, second quarter, third quarter.
Oh my God. How did you get paid?
Well, the thing is, we always got paid, and we got paid well, right? I mean, we trusted him that whatever came out at the end of the day, because we had this incredible trust in him. I mean, he had set up this environment where he said, I hate it, because he had grown up in sales, and he said, I always hated it being in this environment where you felt like, the sword was hanging over the back of your neck, the sword of Damocles. As a salesperson, like you always felt like, impending doom. He said, you just can't be productive in that environment. And so he created this environment that was just trust-based. We worked collaboratively. We worked exceedingly hard. But, no one ever freaked out about the fact that we didn't really know our comp plans right at the start of the year, because they always turned out to be, I don't want to say advantageous. They were just good, fair comp plans. But we trusted them to take care of us, and the team was really motivated and hit the numbers and did extremely well.
Yeah, I think there's just that element of trust. When the element of trust goes both ways, it's so powerful. I definitely feel that about our CEO now, and actually this just the company in general, is there's an incredible amount of goodwill and trust. There's in a startup, Andy, there's so many things that aren't figured out. I'm always behind the 8 ball in terms of, do I have the plans right? Do I have the territories right? Do I have the hiring right? And there's just a tremendous amount of goodwill and trust that we're going to figure it out. We're all working to figure it out. And it goes a long way. You can feel it in the way that, and see it in the way that people interact with each other and the respect they give each other and how hard everybody works in an environment that has a lot of ambiguity.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, another favorite boss of mine, a guy that actually has been a mentor through much of my career, is early in my career, I was looking to get into, just a long time ago, I ended up working at Apple. But before I went to work for Apple, I was interviewing some other startups. And so I interviewed with one VP of sales at this one startup that was very high profile at the time. And he offered me the job at the end of the first interview. And he said, I've got some advice for you. Don't take it.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, okay. He goes, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but this is an interesting company. I just don't think CEO has what it takes to pull this off. I didn't know this when I first came on, but I think this is the case now. And, who else are you looking at? And I told him he was looking at Apple. And so he says, yeah, go there for now. And so I thought, wow, that's pretty incredible. So after I'd left the company where the Rager was, I was looking for work, and I'd seen this article in Fortune magazine about this company that was sort of revolutionizing satellite communications for businesses at the time and data networking in general. This was, a couple decades ago, at least. And so I picked up the phone and I cold called them. That was like on Friday afternoon I saw it. Monday morning I picked the phone and cold called the company and said, I talked to the VP of sales. They said, no, he's not available. I said, well, why are you calling? I said, well, I read the article in Fortune and said you're growing and wanted to talk about a job in sales. And they said, excuse just a second, hang up, or didn't hang up, but say, put me on hold, and came back on a month later, said, yeah, can you come in and meet our VP of sales? I forget now, a day or two. And I said, great. So I go in for the appointment. Well, it's this guy that had offered me the job before. It was like 4 years before that. He had told me not to take it. That's who the VP of sales was. Yeah.
Wow.
And as I said, became this mentor in my career because he, again, the trust factor exceedingly high. Obviously, from the beginning, since he had told me, don't take that job, which turned out to be great advice in retrospect. And he, I said, just a guy I knew I could trust. He had my back. We sold so much together collaboratively. But he was also this guy that was extremely challenging. I mean, he's painfully smart. And I learned this great lesson from him, which was, you got to stay ahead of your boss. Because I remember one time, I don't know, after I'd been there a while, and he calls me on a Sunday afternoon and starts wanting to review accounts. And as we start going through accounts, it's like, oh my gosh, it's clear that in a couple of the accounts, he had been talking to them because he had decided I wasn't moving fast enough on a couple of these deals.
Mm.
And you never want to be in that position, right?
No,
so
definitely not.
Yeah, that was like a big lesson. And again, it wasn't, some people would look at that as like, hey, you went behind my back. No, it was none of that. He wasn't being accusatory. It's just all about, we're moving quickly. Are you moving fast enough with us? And it was a fantastic lesson. And it's just a joy to work with because I learned so much from him. And he would do absolutely anything for the customer. And, sort of that real customer-centric, how can we help you get where you want to go and accomplish what you want to accomplish?
Love it.
Yeah.
I aspire to be that boss that people talk about. And not because I want to be talked about, because I want to be that positive influence. I want to be the one that helps, that gets the privilege of riding along with somebody in their careers as they're moving forward. To be that safe place, but that's also somebody who will challenge and help somebody grow. So I aspire to that. I've had some great managers in my career, thankfully, and I think the best way we learn is by seeing. And so I'm really fortunate that I've been able to see it, and just my aspiration. I'm constantly trying to learn and be better, and just of all the things I care about. In fact, right before the session, I had a one-on-one, and I told my rep, I said, one of the reps who works for me, I said, of all the things that matter to me, you, and I pointed at the pod of sales reps. I said, that's matters the most. I care more about doing right by you, because if I do right by you guys, the board will be happy, the CEO will be happy, the company will do well. So sort of what we talked about, focus on the customer, focusing on, as a manager, my people.
Yep.
I think for me, that's where it begins and ends.
I think the people that really end up succeeding more in sales are those that are fortunate enough to work for really good managers. And I haven't seen, evidentiary proof of this, but this is my own experience over the decades, is that, the people I see that are really successful on a consistent basis are those that have been fortunate enough to work for people that care first and foremost about them and put their interests first and help them achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
All right. Well, Bridget, I know you got to take off. It's a Friday. You've got things to do.
I know. Yes. And always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And friends, thank you again for spending this time with us. We really appreciate it. As we said before, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to Accelerate and Frontline Fridays, make sure you do. Go to iTunes or whatever app you use to listen to the program. Subscribe. Leave us a review. We want to hear what we can do to make this a more valuable investment of your time. So, Bridget, thank you. Friends, thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks, Andy.